city of Saginaw is trying to combat an increase in crime and gun violence while grappling with staffing shortages, and it's taking its toll on the city's officers.
But I am so concerned, and hopefully there can be discussion with our Saginaw Police Department. I feel so bad that you feel the way you feel, and hopefully some conversation can go on, and then some works go on. The city of Saginaw, and at least I do, we depend on you guys, and to know that you're out there and you feel that way, it makes me feel bad also.
I'm angry, honestly. I'm tired and I'm angry and I'm so sick of worrying if my kids are going to end up getting shot for being in the wrong place or sleeping in the wrong area of the house. Of worrying if my kids are going to end up getting shot for being in the wrong place.
In this case, the wrong place was their own neighborhood.
I feel for them, because you ain't got 3 or 4 police on the force at night. It's crazy.
And I am concerned about the state of our city. I think that we are in a crisis right now.
A 29-year-old man is dead, 4 others injured in an early Monday morning shooting. What started as a birthday bash became a barrage of bullets. The gunfire continues for about 10 more seconds.
I'm getting ready to move now because I feel unsafe in this neighborhood.
A 15-year-old boy shot from behind. Friday, a 23-year-old woman was killed in a drive-by on Hosmer Street on the city's east side in broad daylight. The male driver also shot.
This city needs to get it together. No disrespect for none of y'all. I've been around the world and back, Vietnam and back. I've never seen this. I got a park. I got 4 bullet holes in my house. 4 from last year.
I like to tell people that I interact with on the street that doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, is the definition of insanity. But as a police department, we seem to either do the same thing over and over again, or worse, we do nothing. About 10 months ago during a command meeting, my members brought up staffing issues as they were going to relate to the coming summer months. We could foresee not having enough officers to support our basic functions. All we were told was, we'll deal with the problem when it happens.
I do firmly believe it's now time to look internal. We have a retention problem, and to know, I live in the city, to know that I have 4 officers to patrol 20 square miles is just unacceptable. And we need to look internally at some solutions. We need to figure out why our officers are leaving. We need to figure out why we're not attracting officers to stay.
But recently I've been thinking about the need for more officers and then the need of a connection between our officers and our community.
It was asked what our department has done to facilitate relations with important members of the community. I think it takes about 5 years to really be proficient in this job. So when the manager says it's hard for officers to have relationships with people when we're busy going call to call, I think he's right. But it's harder to establish these relationships when an officer starts to learn the job, learn who's who, begin to make these connections, only to have them leave. But to view this line of work and view an officer with 6 years on as just a number who can be filled with someone with 6 months on is a mistake. Mistakes in this line of work can have dire consequences. I ask the council to stop listening to the same 1 or 2 people they think can fix things and continue to reach out to the citizens and those of us on the front lines for our ideas and solutions. I've thought about my 13 years here and I did my best to come up with who has come and gone. By my count, I've seen 35 officers since I've been hired leave for reasons other than retirement. Of those 35, I know of only 2 who quit law enforcement. The other 33 went to other departments.
If we don't address the retention problem, we really don't care about our police department and the officers who are taking the time to serve and protect our communities.
Discussion about talks at the state level about hoping for funds for officer hiring or retention bonuses and so forth. However, these funds, if they come, could be months or years away when we're facing this crisis now. Also, if we're to believe this retention and hiring problem is everywhere, then the other communities will also benefit from these same grants and bonuses and offer them to our officers to come to their departments. So again, I have to ask, what will we be able to offer that they won't?
I have couple questions, and one is a two-part question. With the governor's retention program, can you give me a little bit more information, you know, if you can, and the dollars that are involved? Do you know how many dollars will be coming to the city of Saginaw for the Saginaw Police?
Unfortunately, it's no and no on both of your 8 questions, because it was, you know what I know from the newspaper.
Like, are there exit interviews or are there surveys? Because I'm sure it'll identify some things that we could work on internally, but also have a better understanding of what can we do to make it for the officers that are leaving, or people thinking of leaving, to want to stay.
Yes, there is exit interviews that are done.
Is there anything that we can do to address, to review the exit interviews and hopefully, I mean, talk to the officers, or something that we can do internally that can identify or address and hopefully retain them? Because
well, I think, you know, we're going to have to, I think, rely on that program that Chief mentioned from the state of Michigan for assistance and retention. And he's accurate that I haven't seen any plans released by the governor.
A council person asked a simple point-blank question. Is there anything we can do to review the exit interviews to see why people are leaving to improve retention? The answer from the manager wasn't a yes or no. It was, we're going to have to rely on the state of Michigan for their program for officer retention. I already discussed how relying on this hopeful program is inadequate planning, but I would like to hear that council person's question answered. Where are these exit interviews now? Has someone from the Human Resources Department seen these interviews? Someone from the manager's office? Who's seen these interviews? And is it possible someone or some persons don't want you to see them?
There was a survey conducted recently by the city. What was on the top of that list? It was crime. Saginaw is a tough town, but there's also a lot to be positive about Saginaw. The residents, the businesses, we owe it to them to make sure that we do the right thing and retain some officers and put crime that was on top of that survey on #1 on our agenda.